Hi.
you wanted to speak to. Okay.
My name is Lillian Kelly, and I don't live exactly where these residences live, directly below the tower that's proposed to be built. And I think it's a shame, however, that we're not allowed to address health concerns, because if you go on the internet, your hair would raise on your neck if you saw the health concerns of the, dare I say, severe cancer risk. They triple in, especially
Excuse me, I
children.
have to keep that out of the record because we're not permitted to do that.
I understand that for legal reasons, but these people that have to live there with their children and their grandchildren their whole lives don't want to hear what the legal things are, the things that aren't allowed to come out of their mouths.
And there is a way to
And
address
I
it.
just-
The
and I know that.
FCC will address it with them if they
I
have these
realize
questions.
that, and hopefully we'll be able to take it to that point before the big dogs get released from the porch. So hopefully these people have a right to be heard, and their livelihood and their children can be protected from a triple threat of cancer from towers.
That's what this hearing is about, though, is for them to be heard. But again, we're not permitted to address health issues, so I please ask you to not jeopardize our hearing
I'm sorry.
for
I'm
comments.
sorry. There's a lot of things that factor into.
But did you give us your address for the record?
I live on Rosewood Drive, but there's a lot of things that go into the factor.
Excuse me, where's Rosewood? Rosewood?
It's that crest of that hill.
It's off of 980.
What?
It's off of 980.
It's-
Rosewood Plaza.
Rosewood.
Oh, okay, I don't.
So it's,
Burnside.
there's a lot of things that go into to a quality neighborhood or a quality community, and I know Cecil Township takes pride in that. Obviously, the sign when you come into the community takes pride in, I know you take pride in what your community offers here. And I just think that we have to be very careful, because we are in a rural community, and we're not in a place that's really tight housed, like, that might have a lot of neighborhood like, Upper St. Clair, where you don't have places to put a cell tower, so they don't have this type of problem. But when you've got a wide open community, I think we want to be able to control the quality of living that we have. And whenever visually you're upset every day because of something that you need to look at, that you used to look at trees and hear birds and hear the wind just rustling through the leaves, it makes a difference in the quality of life, and these people are having all of that robbed from them. And whether it's due to technology or due to a tornado or a flood or what have you, it doesn't matter what it's from. It's a shame when it happens. And when we as a community can control some of that, I think we should control some of that if we can for our neighbors, is all I'd like to say.
Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. Blankowski.
One last thing. There's a spring that runs adjacent to this whole road that they want to put in. Runs all the way from the top of the hill all the way down. Not that I feed from it, not that I drink from it, but I've looked at the drawing very carefully, and I don't see anything under the construction. I don't see where the water's going to run, where all this water's going to run. They're putting this right in, and which is almost, it's a straight shot. But the water's going to run somewhere. And it certainly can't run to the spring. It's got to run somewhere to sell its property. It's going to run to my property, one or the other. So
Mr. Stark, would you be able to provide him with that,
I'm not
this
satisfied with this.
submittal to Gateway on the stormwater? Mr. Wilkowski, Gateway reviews proposals from the developers on stormwater management. That's not our area. I'm asking Mr. Stark to give you a copy. I know you know something about construction and you might be able to recognize their proposals for managing that stormwater runoff, if you'd see a plan. So would you give him a copy?
If you could explain to me where the water's going to go, I'd appreciate that.
I can explain to you where it's going to go. We can have an engineer provide it in writing, so you have to see what they can speak much more educated right now.
But also give him a drawing, because he can read a drawing.
Yeah,
It's a it's a rather beefy stormwater drainage system that we're putting in. Rather than one huge pond that might be 100 feet circle or 200 feet circle, it's 10 feet deep. Rather than one huge pond, we're putting a 9-foot wide drainage ditch. It's either going to be stone lined or grass lined, on the inside of the road. Everything sloped towards the center property, on the inside of this road. Nothing on your side of the road, which would be here. So everything's on this side. So all the water drains come on inside with 9-foot wide, stone lined and with grass lined ditch. And it's just really beefy, wide and deep design. It's gonna soak it all
So
up.
my question is, while the runoff, being that already, that little creek bed there is already overflowing times, all that water coming down there, where's it all going?
It should be soaked up in these approximately 1,700 feet from there to there, 1,500 feet up, 9-foot wide, stone lined with grass lined ditch, design drainage. It should all be soaked up.
Well, the law doesn't allow them to discharge any more water off the property after development as pre-development. So Gateway would have reviewed that on our behalf, that whatever water runoff they have running today to that stream, it won't be any greater during peak times as it is today.
We did a percolation test as well, passed. All we get, Washington County very thorough, I can say for done my work, we were very, very, very thorough. There's our ENS plan, our stormwater plan, water drain off perk test, and it's dual.
I don't think the county would have reviewed your stormwater plan.
Part of the answer, yes, I'm not sure if they did or did not, but it definitely went to Gateway.
Right.
Yes. We did get a culvert permit from the county, which was part of that, a culvert permit from the county as well as the.
Please give a copy though too. Anybody else?
I have one other comment here. I think we do a real good job here, looking at things from a civil engineering standpoint, water drainage, water runoff, and all that kind of stuff. But from a system design standpoint, we should have somebody that's capable, that we could reach out to, that's a licensed engineer in the state of Pennsylvania. We can look at these statistics that he's talking about to see where drop calls are, that kind of thing like that. If not, this current design that they're proposing, you're going to take a compass on a map and draw a mile and a half circle around the tower that you have here. That's going to be the coverage area. That's all they can do. That's all they can do with the existing technology. Further to the south and to the west, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to dot the landscape with these cell towers. Now, I don't see that in other population dense areas. You look at Upper St. Clair and other areas like that. Why don't they have cell towers every mile and a half to hand off to one another? Again, I know it's a design issue, but we don't have anybody here that's capable to point and counterpoint with your engineer. And that's what we need to
You
have.
referred to Upper St. Clair. Upper St. Clair probably has more towers than Cecil Township does. In fact, if you go to Boyce Community Park, they have a 400-foot tower there. So Upper St. Clair is
That's
facing
because
the
they're
same
winning.
issues that Cecil Township is faced with. And they have multiple towers in multiple areas.
Well, if things changed in the since the towers first started coming out, I know at the time, people were asking, why can't you put up a stronger signal so you don't need as many towers so to reach further? What's the
I think Mr. Missler talked about that. You know, you build sites today for two purposes, for coverage and capacity, with multiple users, so you need more access to the lines.
But does the FCC still regulate to hold your power back?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a very narrow bandwidth, and they testified to the fact that Verizon was a successful bidder on a spectrum purchase that allows them to propagate signal in multiple bandwidths in order for users to access the network. But that's
Did you
very,
understand
very low
anything that he
power.
said?
What?
Did anybody up there understand anything that he said?
Well, I know about bandwidths, I don't know about the limits and the powers.
There needs to be another facet of knowledge, another resource that we have available to point and counterpoint this. I mean, otherwise, like I said, you're going to have towers every mile an hour. They're going to be handed off to each
Are
other.
you suggesting that someone else might be able to counter that they don't need the tower here?
That's right. I mean, I don't know. Right now, we don't know, okay? Just as well, to counterpoint the fact that 5 years down the road, the new technology that they have says that they can stuff more energy, more capacity into the given spectrum that they have, because that's what we work toward, right? Bigger, better, and improving technology all the time.
Well, based on his comments, does the FCC, whenever you submit things to them, are they looking to try to answer those kind of questions to make sure that you're not going over?
Now, without getting into great detail, I'm not an FCC attorney, but there's a bandwidth in which frequencies that we're permitted to operate. That's the confines of the system. What we provided tonight is a bandwidth that the FCC licenses spectrum to runs. There are megahertz that are available, and there's new spectrums for us to operate. We have to operate within that confine. That's
Well,
the regulation.
I understand, but we're saying that actual need for this type of coverage, whatever you're submitting it to the FCC, is there a step in their process where they might look at this and say, we're not even going to give you a permit for this because you don't need it in that area? Is there a step in their process?
Nate, I'm not aware of the steps that the FCC would determine.
No, the FCC is going to determine what frequency bands they're allowed to operate in. That's all. They're governing the frequency band that they're using, and that's it.
So who's regulating whether or not you actually need the coverage?
The federal government, the state, and this local body.
Mr. Diego has a point. Like, we're supposed to take your word for it that because you met all these requirements that you're saying here that it's...
Well, we are under oath. I think it's important to recognize that this is a quasi-judicial proceeding, and everything that we submitted is under oath.
But who up there is qualified to look at your statistics and determine that? Okay? And I'm not poking fun at anybody up there. Like I
We
said,
understand.
Well, that's why there's an engineer that's also involved, and there was a separate engineer review.
An electrical engineer that has
Gateway
Cecil
engineers.
Township's best interest in mind? No, there wasn't.
I know the township has a contract with Gateway Engineer, and I know they have expertise. I mean, they're one of the best engineering companies.
I agree.
In Western Pennsylvania, perhaps.
We're not talking about putting power lines underground and drainage ditches. This is, your engineer could testify that it's a very specific science, and it's not something that's broad and general. It's a specialization in the field. And we don't have anybody right now that's qualified to point and counterpoint why we need this tower and why it has to be right there.
We do have a lot of
You have to
questions.
agree that that's true. I mean, you don't have to, but logic would tell you that that's true. This is a one-sided argument here that we
We
need
did get a
to
lot
solve.
of questions asked and answered, a lot of questions that weren't answered yet, and I think our board still has to go over the information we got. If there's nobody else, we'll declare this hearing closed, and again, we don't vote at a hearing, we'll be voting on this proposal at a subsequent meeting. So we're going to close it right now, and we appreciate you coming out.
And if there's anything specifically you want from us, please let us know. I'm sorry? The water issue?
Water study. Both for Mr. Zamiska and for Mr. Funkowski.
As I did last time, I dropped off.
To them, and we need to make sure that they get copies as well.
Can you do that?
I think that was right.
Yeah, would be better.
Yeah, can you do both?
Why don't you get their addresses tonight?
I have to get the notification.
Thank you.